Hey everyone, it's Simon from High Plane Games. Hope you're well and having a great day. Welcome to Crazy Machines 3! Now I love the Crazy Machines series, and I started off with number 2, then went to the PS3 game, then bounced back and grabbed the first one because I loved it so much. They're very much 2D physics-based puzzle games where you basically have to build contraptions or crazy machines to make something happen. And this is no exception whatsoever, but it's taking into account a lot of what is new in technology in the world at the moment on PC, so that it becomes a much bigger game than what you'd imagine the initial 80 puzzles would necessarily be. So starting right at the very beginning, each puzzle is presented to you in a 2D way. Much is made in the games like pretext of we're in 3D now, but you're always playing in a 2D sidescape. This makes me think of like 2.5D puzzle platformers. This is very similar. If I press start to start my machine, nothing's happening because I've not completed the machine. And the idea is that I've got to get to the buzzer at the end and hit it with my beautiful unicorn. Everything that I've got to complete the puzzle is always over on this side. When you click and drag it, can you see that you get like a little grid that appears so that you can really drag and drop things in with precision. And if I drag the domino in there, you can really zoom in and zoom out, and you can also go like up and down on here because puzzles get much bigger than beyond just the initial screen later on. And if I press the button to get go, hey. And that's what they mean by it's now in 3D. You're still puzzling on a 2D plane, but it's got 3D games to it. Let's continue on. Again, just staying with the early mechanics. The Vegas kids put a bird egg in their toy truck. Bring the truck to unload. So the idea with this is that they're still giving big hints as to where you want things to go. There's also movable items like these trucks where you have to hit the switch to basically turn them on and they'll power themselves across. But if I do that, I've not got anything to hit the ball, but I've not got anything sustaining the path across. So I'm going to need to bring the ball across so that can come down and hit the cord to go. And I'm going to have to work out how I keep this sustained. So that fits nicely in there. And you can see if something's overlapping, I can't press play down at the bottom. I'm going to need a second chair there. There we go. Nicely done. Nicely done there, sir. So, if I then dive forward a little bit more, backyard basketball is the tricky one. It's the end of the beginners section here. You can start to see the level of complexity that this game wants to then start bringing you in. So we've got much bigger puzzles now going on here, and with more things for us to play with. And so if I hit go here, yeah, it gives you some clue actually when you find parts are or aren't moving. But essentially I've got to get that basketball over into that net there. So that is going to need to go down into the chute. I'm going to explain kind of how I go around doing these puzzles. So this is like a kind of a stop and dropper to go down into there. But it's only ever going to drop down, so I want it to probably go up to there. So I'm going to grab that. And that will go up, and that will, actually that will hit and topple over the box, to the box, to the bank, to the bum, down, and then that will fall apart there. Let's see how I'm going on so far. So we're going to need to move that across. Shmee George. Let's try that again. Can you see what I'm saying about the graphics in the seeming low frame rate? I don't find that it really affects my enjoyment so much of the actual game itself. I just feel like it needs to be optimised somewhat. So the ball drops down there. Okay, right. So I'm going to... So I need a domino there because that will complete the set. And I guess because that will fall off, won't it? So that will go there. I'm going to put that there so that that can then ride up. And I'll hope that domino will hit that box. Alright, let's find out. And this is just the beginner levels. But it's a really cute aesthetic. And the puzzles themselves, I find at least, make sense once you work out where you need to settle. It doesn't get like massively obtuse. There's always a big logic as to where things are going, so that kind of gets that chapter over with. And then it starts to spin off into different types of ones. So you've got gears and balloons here, so if I go into the gear stuff, it introduces new mechanics for you to play with. So this one is about a really creepy, in my opinion, childhood box. So you'll need to drop the ball down and that will hit the pegs. So if I just zoom in a smidgels, you can kind of work out in a way where cog should go by where it allows you to overlap. So this one's quite simple. But it introduces the concept that cogs are a thing. Same with wind, electricity and light. Let's see. This is me now going off on a tangent. This could go horribly wrong. I've not done this one. Day for a barbecue. Let's get started. Activate all the kitchen supplies and the lamp. Hint, you can plug in a cord by first clicking on the cord and then okay. You can plug in a cord by first clicking on the cord and then clicking on the orange socket. Well, that's the other thing as well, is that you can click and drag and highlight several things at once. Surely. That poor pig in the background. There we go. So it starts to introduce all different concepts. And it only get more and more challenging as things go across and get more and more difficult. And that then brings you on to, once you've completed those 80 puzzles initially, the real crux of what's going on here. So you've got community created stuff that you can then dive into and try and get. And some of this will be really, really, really in depth, because it's always when you go out to a community, a bit like things like Little Big Planet and stuff like that, that levels, you can start bending the rules and finding out what the limits of the engine are and stuff like that. And you can invent your own. You can have your machine so that you can replay stuff, and then you can go into the actual workshop itself and do things. So, an example machine with a goal. Let's take a look. Now, I've not had the chance to really play around with this. Excellent. And the beauty of this is that, in a bit like EA's Create, along with the previous iterations of this game, is that you define your own goal because it's your machine. So you don't have to have like a perfectly working level. It could just be, I want to throw the unicorn in the bath. And that's perfectly fine. Or you could do it so that like little flags come up or different sounds make a noise and things like that. It really is, the world is your oyster. So long as you're happy to create a crazy machine that when you click it and off and away it goes. Or you can make it on different levels and stuff. I'm not going to dive into that. Let me get out of this. Thank you. You can download other people's community stuff and have a go on there. But yeah, I'm really, really liking it. If there was a downside, again, I'd mention the frame rate of stuff. It's not fantastic for a game that is physics based and therefore you don't think should be taking up quite so much graphical power as what it seems to be doing. And I've had to turn down the graphics for it to look smooth. But aside from that, 2 hearty thumbs up, really enjoying it. So that's Crazy Machines 3, available on Steam now. They've now also added a fast forward feature, which lets you, if you've made a really, really big long puzzle, you can fast forward away for it so you can work out what's gone wrong and so on and so forth. So yeah, thumbs up. You guys will take care, and I'll see you here on another video here on High Plane Games. Bye for now.